The end, guys. We're coming to the end. All right, let's do it. Super speed this time. Level ones. We've got Najord, Azure Angel. So there are a fair amount of playable angels and an angel archetype in like white, green, blue, and black. I think the colors that you want to be in are white, blue, and black for the angel archetype. So that's relevant and worth mentioning in the future. I don't think it's great. It has an ability of whenever it attacks, draw a card, discard a card. It loots. So if you want to put stuff in your graveyard, which some angel decks do because they do play out of the graveyard a bit, then this is okay. This is an okay deck. This is okay. It's playable. But it's not exciting, and it's not my first choice of things I would put down into your blue decks. Talk about some other weird cards here. How do I even pronounce this one? Clepatra? Code Maze. When the Signy moves from a different Signy field by your effect, your opponent discards a card. This card is trash. It's not good. I would not play lane floppy effects just to get this card's effect. I I wouldn't. But if for some reason you're playing Umir, and there is a better version of Umir in the future that does lane swapping, this is a 4 of in that deck. Otherwise, this card's terrible. Neon Tetra, Phantom Aquatic Beast. I like to call her Fishy Girl. She's actually really good. Her Life Burst effect is down target Signy on your opponent's field, freeze it, draw a card. That is a classic Life Burst effect that I'm looking for in blue, especially blue control decks, that I'm just happy with. Its enter ability is to freeze a Signy on your opponent's field. When you're playing Stall, she is just a fairly good option. So I wouldn't say staple, but highly playable. We talk about more Azure Angels. Oh, this is a level 2, so we'll just skip it for now. Guys, I didn't show it. I didn't show it. Now we've got no other level 1s, so we have to show it. Hypnos Azure Angel. When this Signy vanishes a frozen Signy through battle, the opponent discards a card. Unless you are playing mono blue freeze or mono blue freeze discard, which is a real thing in the future, this card is not good. There is no freeze angel deck in the future, and this is so like, freeze is not a good thing to focus on unless you overtly focus on it by breaking teams and being a completely mono blue freeze deck. So not staple. Trash it. If you are playing a mono blue freeze deck because you want the memes and you want people to hate their lives, yeah, sure, play it. Okay, Slime Mage, Azure Evil. This has a Life Burst effect of draw 2, and it's 5,000 power. Its enter is blue, colorless. Put 2 other Signy from your field into your owner's trash. Put target Signy on your opponent's field to the bottom of its owner's deck. A very powerful removal spell. The answer is, as much as I love this Slime Girl, she is not good. However, I'm not going to say trash, because she is begrudgingly playable and has a playable deck in set 4 and is occasionally used a little bit more after that, strictly because of her typing as demon. There is a demon deck, Nova Center, that does use her as a 2 of in the future, less in the way flung future, but for a short term does use it. So it is worth mentioning that it does have a use later down the line. High Circus is one of my favorite cards. It is got the 8,000 power. It has a Life Burst ability of down target opponent Signy and freeze it, draw a card. Again, that is just a good Life Burst. I'd always use that one. It has an ability that when you enter, you can swap this Signy with another Signy on your field, and if you do that, then the opponent reveals the top card of their library, and you can choose whether or not they should keep it on the top or they should keep it on the bottom. It is usable in blue decks that you are really grinding the opponent's resource. If we're talking about discard decks, If we're talking about freeze decks, if we're talking about those types of decks, this is usable. This is also usable in Omir later down the line, so it is playable. I don't think it's utterly amazing, but it is very good in the stall decks when you are playing that. And that is all your level 2s right off the bat. Let's just go ahead and talk about this spell since it's here. Don't play it. Okay, cool. We talked about it. Let's talk about level 3s. Yogsloth. This is a Ancient Surprise specific Signy. 12,000 power. Its Ancient Surprise team ability is auto once a turn. When the Signy on your field moves to another Signy zone, you can pay blue. If you do, choose 3 cards at random for your opponent's hand, look at them. Put one of them on the bottom of the opponent's deck. And that connects into its other action ability, which is pay blue once a turn. Put the bottom card of the opponent's Signy's deck into the trash. Then vanish target Signy on the opponent's field with the same name as that card. So it's removal and it's discard on demand. It's a little expensive for discard on demand. And as far as its removal goes, its removal is conditional, which is not great. And also the fact that it costs blue and the fact that all the abilities cost blue means that this card is probably trash. It is just so resources intensive, and you're also only playing an Ancient Surprise. I don't think I would play this card if I could have help to do it. Oh god, and here we go into another card that I'm also going to rate as trash. Parthenos. Okay, Parthenos has weird abilities, so bear with me on this one. Life Burst. You may pay blue. If you do, put target Signy on your opponent's field to the bottom of their deck. That's an okay ability, except you gotta play blue for it, so it's not super great for the Life Burst. It's an okay Life Burst. Its auto ability. During your opponent's turn, if this Signy would leave the field, instead, you may turn it face down. Face down cards are treated as if they don't exist. If you do, at the beginning of your following main phase, after your next main phase, so not your turn that comes up next, the following one. If there's no Signy with in that Signy zone, right, you can turn this face up, and then the opponent discards 2 cards. I think this is the first time, I know I called things trash earlier, I think this is the only Signy that I've seen so far in this set review that actively makes your deck worse if you put it in it. I think anytime I see this on my opponent's field, and they decide to go for that ability, I'm like, I've got this game won. Do not play this card. That is the only thing I can say is do not play it. Gran Ning. 1,000 power. As long as you have 4 or more cards in your hand, this Signy gets plus 3,000 power and gains Shadow a Signy. And whenever this Signy vanishes a Signy on your opponent's field, you get to draw a card. It's not good. I probably wouldn't play it, but it is not the worst card in the world either. It drawing you a card when it vanishes a Signy is not relevant, I don't think. It's like, okay. The real more relevant thing is that it has Shadow Spell, but there's so little spells being flung around, it doesn't really matter either. So it's probably unplayable, is the answer. Vela, it's your vanilla 13,000 that has a Life Burst effect of put target up Signies on the bottom of its owner's deck. Up is the worst part of that deck. I think this is, or up is the worst part of that Life Burst effect. I would say this is unplayable. I probably would not play it. And just like that, we did it. We went through all of the starter deck cards and all of the set 0/0 Interlude Diva as a set review. Overall, if you were going to be buying product from this set, would I suggest you buy product from this set? Probably not. It doesn't have a long-term shelf life. Most of the cards that I said are either begrudgingly playable or not playable. So I really wouldn't. I would pick up singles from what you need from this set, but it's not that great. You're really going to want to pick up singles from the future sets, which, if you want to watch future set reviews and hear me ramble on about cards for far too long, feel free to go ahead and subscribe. And I want to know if you managed to get through this entire thing. Leave me a comment, 1, because I want to know if you actually managed to get through it all. But 2, what is your favorite card from this set? I gotta say, I like Hera and I like Neon Tetra a lot. Those are probably my favorites.